Good morning, this is Jo Granger from Discovery College. I'm in a little forest area near our school this morning, and I'm going to demonstrate how we can use the loppers and a fixed blade knife to make a tent peg. So first of all, I'm just going to cut a piece of a stick that I found down to the size that I want for my tent peg. And I want to have enough length so that I can whittle the end into a point to be able to stick it into the ground, and also create a little wedge to tie some rope round when I'm putting up my shelter. So I'm thinking about this long would be good. So I'm just going to use the loppers to create the length that I would like. And I could either use either end actually. There we go. And just remember to put the cover back on the loppers when I'm not in use. I'm just going to put them on the ground safely beside me where I can keep an eye on them. And then I'm using this fixed blade sheath knife here. I've got a glove on my helper hand, and I'm looking for the end that I want to whittle down into a sharp point that would go down deep into the ground and hold the corner of a tent down. The outside of this wood is very soft and a little bit rotten, but as you take that outer bark away, we get a really lovely hard wood on the inside. Okay, so I've just removed the outer part now, and what I can start to do is start to bring this into a sharp point at the end. Making sure that I'm not cutting near anybody, cutting away from myself. And this is really versatile, using whittling in this way for all sorts of different ideas and crafts. So another lovely idea, we brought some paint down with us today, is turning these into little stick people, woodland people that you can use for making characters for storytelling. So I might have a go at doing that in a bit. Because it is nice light wood underneath, it is lovely for me decorating with you know, craft felt tips and paints and so on. Okay, this is coming down into a narrower point now. And these little bits of shavings that are coming off as well a great for kindle if you were to start a campfire. So they're worth collecting up to and just keeping for kindling. What I might do, now that this is coming down into a finer point, is you may want one side of the tent peg a little bit flatter. Sometimes it goes into the ground a little bit easier that way. So I'm going to make sure this side is the flatter end. Okay, I'm quite happy with that, to be able to stick that quite deep into the ground. So what I want to do with the upper part is you could create a little groove to be able to just hook the rope around. So I'm just going to start by, again, taking the bark off in this upper area and just starting to create a little groove. This is quite a hard wood, so it's hard to saw a groove into it in this way. But by just carefully digging into the knife in one area, again, you want to make sure that you've got your glove on your helper hand, doing a little bit more closer work here, cutting away from yourself. If you need to turn it around to go in the other direction to create this little wedge. Okay, so that's created quite a nice little rut in the wood. And just for demonstration purposes, if I was going to be tying a low shelter and hooking it into the ground, you'd obviously be looking for some nice soft ground to be able to put this in. I've got some here. I think it's just about seeable in the video, in the camera. So I'm just going to push that into the ground there. You can see that that's standing upright. And I would take the twine or rope that I'm using. One end would be tied to the top, and I can now tie the top to the tent peg, and that little rut will hold it nice and tight, like so. Okay, so that would be connected to the shelter, and then you could push your tent peg deep into the ground, and if needed in harder ground you could hammer that in or use a mallet to push that in. Thank you.